Coming up on this week's show, Braille jerseys, space that isn't infinite, and things we wished didn't exist, not named Donald Trump. All this and a few other stories, so listen up, because you may learn something. Welcome to the the-fwot-show on the Coil Entertainment Network. I'm Rob Steele, that's Jesus Jones in the background, and this week we've got to start with something a little weird. I have to admit, it's not something I ever thought I'd see, and the people who it's for aren't going to see it either. The Baltimore Orioles decided to do something special for Blind People's Day, of which they should get a week, at least, if not a month. Seriously. But that's okay. It's the Baltimore Orioles, and no one's really paying much attention to them anyway. No, they're not going to set the record for most losses in a season, but they're getting there. Anyway, what they did for Braille Day was they decided to redo their jerseys in Braille. The front does not say Orioles, it says ... which is not Morse code, it's Braille, which is kind of a cool idea. I mean, I'll give them an A for effort, but Braille is kind of a tactile thing, and unless the blind people can walk up and run their fingers over it, it's kind of useless. Oh wait, speaking of useless, and let's see, an A for effort? How about an F for effort? And, oh dear, that letter F, it's not for Republicans yet. We'll get to them later. It's for Windows, the Microsoft operating system that's going to have an enormous update in October. How enormous? Well, Windows phones are not going to be able to do it. Oops. There's a lot of laptops that are not going to be able to do it. Oops. This is all because the operating system, when installed on a hard drive, takes up about 20 gigabytes. Lots of laptops these days don't have more than 25 gigabytes on the hard drive to begin with, which means you've only got 5 gigabytes of free space to work with, and this update that's coming is going to take 10 of them. That's right, it's going to take 10 of the 5 remaining. Oh, have you caught on to the problem yet? Thank you, Microsoft, for making such a bloated crapware operating system. Yes, I'm using it, but I've got a PC. So there. Did you see the video that came out this week of Senator Orrin Hatch giving testimony in the Senate? And he removed some non-existent glasses? Seriously, he said that Kavanaugh's accuser is confused. He said it while taking off some glasses that weren't there. Kavanaugh's accuser is confused? Really, Orrin? But that's not all we've got on Kavanaugh. No, there's a lot of stuff, including this one, which somehow slipped under the radar of mainstream news. Mainly it's because of the language that I am not going to actually edit because you need to hear what this is. It's about Brett Kavanaugh's fraternity, kind of. Yes, I love it when a nominee for the Supreme Court isn't a member of a fraternity, but something more along the lines of a secret society. And those were always the bad guys in the comic books. Did you ever notice that? He was part of an all-boys Yale group called Truth and Courage, officially, but it was commonly referred to as Tit and Clit. I'm not making this up. You can find this all over the place, really, except on, broadcast news where they're not allowed to say those things. Here's something else they're probably not allowed to say. It would be what the Tit and Clit Club, who had a reputation for mistreating women. Yeah, you're not going to be able to hear what they were yelling in this video outside the Yale's Women's Center in 2010. They were chanting, "No means yes, and yes means anal." Really? Do we want him as a judge on the Supreme Court? I don't want him as a judge on America's Got Talent. Seriously. I can't lighten this story up any, so I'll move on to something that's almost related and yet not. Thankfully, it comes from the unfortunately named Uranus, Missouri. Yes, I'm calling it Uranus because I'll be pronouncing it differently later in the story. They're getting a new newspaper, which I think, frankly, is a good thing. We don't have enough newspapers anymore. They used to be everywhere. Now they're gone, it's sad. It's tragic, but not quite as tragic as the name of the paper in Uranus, Missouri. It's being called, and pronounced the Uranus Examiner. I'd like to be making that up. And yet, if you think that's as horrible as I do, contact me through the website, the-fwot-show.com. There's buttons for Facebook. There's buttons for Twitter. There's buttons for the Fwot shop, where you can go pick up a coffee mug or a t-shirt or a hat. Everything you get there supports the Coil Entertainment Network, as does your subscriptions to the show, which you can get on iTunes or the Google Play Store or YouTube even. The full video version is coming soon. Right now it's kind of a partial video version. It's just pretty. So check that out. And in the meantime, I'm going to end with one of the weirder stories I heard this week. One of the creators of the Muppet Show. No, not Jim Henson. He was the main guy, and Frank Oz had nothing to do with this either. A lot of stuff has come out about whether Bert and Ernie are gay. And I'm gonna let you know what you should think about this. Normally I don't say, here's what your opinion should be, but I am going to do it in this case. Who cares? They're Muppets. Literally. It's not like they were in the Happy Time Murders or something and had a sex scene. They didn't. They're on a kid's show. They're two guys that happen to live together. Based on The Odd Couple. They weren't gay either. Seriously. And why? Why is this a big deal? Why are we caring about the sexuality of Muppets? Grow up, people. Seriously. You know what? I'm going to add something else too. Because now that college football season has started, I need to give you a safety warning. Because this happened to me this morning, and it should never have happened at all. No, it's not. I wasn't raped by Bert and Ernie. No. This is a safety warning for those of you who are fans of the Alabama football team. When you come to a traffic light, green means go, yellow means slow down, red does not mean I can go through if I yell roll tide as I'm rolling through the stop sign. No, that should not happen. And unfortunately, there are more Tide fans than there are listeners of the show. So pass that around. Share the show if you have to, or if you want to. Not a bad thing. Anyway, be careful, because people out there are doing that, and we should shoot them. Guns are legal. Go for it. Have a nice week, everybody, and be safe.